Welcome to the Morning Coffee Show with your host, Brett Martineau. And here's your host, Brett Martineau. Woo! Yay, yay. Monologue, joke, and we're in. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the morning show. Today is Tuesday. This is Morning Coffee number 24, I think. Lots of stuff, cool stuff happening today. I'm really excited. I want to get this out of the way at the beginning. Later today, oh, that's fast. Later today, I'm going to be releasing a video. It's a song that I wrote 6 years ago. I'm going to explain this more in the video, but the recording of the song itself is the first time that song has ever been performed. Literally, the first time it's ever been performed all the way through, playing the guitar and singing. When I recorded it in sections, and I never actually played it all the way through. So it's kind of exciting for me that I actually got a chance to sit down and play it all the way through. So excited about that. Check that out this afternoon. Today, what I wanted to do, it's been a couple of days since since you've heard from me, which is, I'm still trying to figure out the schedule for how I'm going to release these things. So just bear with me. All the content will be there. It'll all be in that playlist. And so you'll be able to see it. But what I wanted to do today, I was thinking earlier on that as I tell the story of my career and the people that I've worked with, I was thinking that I wanted to skip over some parts of the story just so I can keep it to the business-oriented part of what I've done. But I actually think there's I was thinking about it this morning, there's an interesting lesson from one of the experiences that I had, and there might even be more that I could find. So we're going to kind of slog our way through. Plus, I think that I haven't had experiences that everyone's had. And so me just telling the story of what I've gone through might spark something in you. So as we really lean into this idea of documenting and not creating, I'm just telling stories. And it's fun, and there's lessons to be learned and whatever. So after, some of you may know this, but the Martineaus are a very strong Mormon family. So I was raised and grew up in a very stout, what's the right word? Very active Mormon family. And as part of that, there's a thing that young Mormon men do when they turn 19. Well, now it's 18, but it was 19 when I was young, where we go and we serve missions. It's kind of like conscription, but it's not quite as, that has kind of a negative connotation to it. Like people really look forward to, I really look forward to going on mine. And I left that October of 2005, so right after, about a year and a half after I had started working at Infusionsoft is when I left and went on mine. And I mean, obviously, given the fact that the leadership of Infusionsoft and my family were part of the leadership, it was okay for me to take a 2-year deferment, so to speak. And they said, they were very, very good about, this was something that I was really, we talked about this before. They always had been really focused on making sure that I was doing the things that I wanted to be doing and that I was achieving what I wanted to be achieving. And so everybody was really supportive of this. And when I went, I want to tell you when I was thinking this morning, I thought of a very specific experience that I think has application. When you go on a mission as a Mormon, it's like the pinnacle of your life at that point. Like if you really have leaned into to being Mormon and like you're not like rebelling all the time, and I had my days, but for the most part I was pretty stout, pretty staunch. It's like a big deal to go on a mission. And I was thrilled. I was excited to go. What happens is when you get together with a bunch of other people that are excited in the same way, it can get very easy for little passive-aggressive competition to come out. And I remember when I was at the MTC, which is it's called the Missionary Training Center in Provo, Utah, which is where all missionaries go. Well, actually, I think they have like a bunch of them, but before you go on a mission, you go to this training center where they teach you a little bit of the language that you're going to be speaking and then teach you kind of how to teach things, sort of. It's kind of like, here's your prep, now go, kind of thing. Anyway, so I was there for about 3 months because I was speaking Russian, which is one of the more difficult languages to learn. And while I was there, I had there was a group of guys that I was sort of partnered up with, who we were all going to Ukraine at the same time. And so we were learning together and we were going to go to Ukraine together. And I found very, very quickly that my status as like a righteous kid, or as like the good guy, or as like the guy who knows a lot about the church or whatever, came into question. And I'd never experienced that before, because where I came from, I was sort of, I mean, at the risk of sounding overly haughty, I was sort of like the top of the food chain when it came to Mormonness, if you will. And I think most people that grew up with me would agree. And I was kind of proud of that, to be honest with you. I was really excited about being as good or as righteous or as knowledgeable about the church and stuff as I was, which that's a whole conversation in itself as to whether or not that's the approach to be taking. But when I got to the MTC, I ran into other people who were just as dedicated to the church as I was, and just as intelligent as I was, and just as capable of learning a different language as I was, and also just as capable of knowing and memorizing scriptures and like stuff about the church. And I got there, and I promise, by the way, I'm getting to a point here, so this isn't like a religious video. I want to get to a point here. There was a lot of this sort of back and forth under the hood competition about who was going to be the strongest. And I remember there's a set of rules that missionaries are supposed to live by, and it involves like not listening to music that's not approved, and not reading stuff that's not approved, and just keeping everything sort of in line. And I remember on one occasion, very specifically, making a point to say to the guys that were there, I'm never going to break a rule again. And I remember at the time that part of it was because I needed to like reestablish myself as like maybe, I don't know, better than, or reestablish like who I was and how good I was and all this. I don't know. It was kind of a weird thing looking back. Like if I'd been in that situation, I'd been not me, but somebody else in that situation, I'd been like, this guy's kind of weird. Anyway, I remember saying, I'm not going to break any rules, any missionary rules ever again. Which is not something you can promise, and it wasn't true. I broke many, many rules for the rest of my mission. But at the time, it seemed like saying that I wasn't going to break a rule was the right thing to do. And I can't tell you, now this is where we transition into the lesson part of this, I can't tell you how often I have dealt with people, consultants, business owners, coaches, whoever it is, talking about what they're going to do instead of just doing what they're going to do. Like, let your actions, let what you do tell people what you are going to do. I think sometimes we get impatient, or it's not impatient actually, it's nervous that people aren't going to be paying attention when you do the thing that you are meaning to do. And so we have to say we're going to do it so that people watch when we do it. It's a very juvenile, childish thing that we do. I do it all the time. Shoot, I'm making a show. And I'm running ads to it, right? So I totally understand it. I'm not guilty of it. But I think there's an interesting lesson there where instead of making a big deal out of something so that people can watch, why not just let the thing that you're doing be the thing that gets people's attention, right? Instead of, mom, watch what I can do, watch what I can do. Instead of that, if you just go and do it, and then everybody pays attention to what you're actually doing instead of what you're saying. And I think the biggest reason is because 9 times out of 10, saying you're going to do something is a cathartic release, and it's enough of a cathartic release to remove the what's the word I'm looking for? Remove the drive to actually go do it. So it ends up, I don't even know. Hang on, I got to check the time on this. Oh, shoot. Oh, we're good. Sorry. I got 2 minutes left. I totally forgot to set the timer to make sure that I was going to come in on time. But it's fine, because I'm actually going to come in on the whole thing. Sometimes saying you're going to do something is enough of a release to where you don't really even feel the need to go and do it. And this happened to me all the time. So what happens is, instead of actually going and doing anything, what you do is you say you're going to do stuff, and you become a person who says they're going to do stuff, and not someone who actually goes and does anything. I realize I have more to say, so I'm actually going to stop the video and start it again. Give me a second. So anyway, I think it's very important that you remove the need for people to be paying attention before you do what it is that you need to do. Because it feels like people need to be paying attention, or the things that you do don't make a difference. But the truth is, no one's going to pay attention until they have a reason to pay attention. And it's much more effective for you. Well, think about it this way. I'll just give you a simple example. Instead of saying to those friends at that time, I'm never going to break another rule again, or I'm never going to break any of the rules. If I had gone half of my mission and then said that, and I hadn't broken any rules up to that point, and then I said I'm not going to break any rules, first of all, it would be redundant. I wouldn't need to say that because I hadn't broken any rules yet. But second of all, how much more powerful would it be at that point? How much more do you think people would be willing to pay attention to me at that point? Because I am a person who they already know they can trust that I'm going to do that. Think about Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan saying, I'm gonna shoot 10,000 free throws a day. Okay, that's when he's a kid, before he even started. Okay, sure, 10,000 free throws a day, whatever. But then, if he's 5 years into his NBA career and he says, I'm gonna shoot 10,000 free throws a day, it means something different. Because he's already been shooting 10,000 free throws a day, right? And the big thing is, that doesn't matter what you're going to do. That's like saying, I have this idea, I should get paid for it. Everybody has ideas, right? So that's the important thing. I think in general, in everything that you do, it's important to stop trying to say what you're going to do and just go do what you're going to do, and then let that be the actions for you. There's a lot more that I could say about that, but I think I'll just leave it at that. Just because. So anyway, happy Tuesday to you. Remember, later today that video is coming out. So it's so ironic what I just said and now what I'm saying to you. But the key is I already made the video. I'm not telling you I'm going to make a video. I'm telling you I already made the video and it's getting released later today. So it's different. That was so funny. Video's coming out later today with the song. Check it out. I think you might be interested in it just to see. And the point of why I'm releasing it is more important, I think, than anything else. So check that out. By the way, more music is coming because my brothers and I have finally sort of gotten together and put our heads together around some music stuff, and we're starting to actually produce some stuff. So that will be fun to release. Anyway, hope you enjoy your Tuesday. We will see you all on the morrow. Peace.